Hi, you're very welcome to the Big Picture Podcast. I'm here at the Lexicon Library in Dunleary. We're at Mountains to Sea, the festival, wonderful book festival. And I've nabbed Chris Haughton. I've grabbed him and dragged him in here, and he's going to do a drawing for me for the Big Picture Podcast. Thanks very much, Chris.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here, PJ. Just finished a couple of events, and now.
And the last thing you need to do is more drawing.
It's absolute pleasure. I'm drawing all the time anyway, so I might as well do another one.
Well, the Big Picture Podcast is all about seeing illustrators drawing, and I can't wait to see you in action. Okay,
all right, let's go.
Cool.
So I will start off doing my tree. A lot of this I did with collage, in fact. But I drew it all to begin with as drawings, and then I found that there was too much detail in it, so I needed to redo it in collage so that I would simplify everything.
Suddenly, because we're so familiar with this book, it looks Chris Haughton-y. I'm not sure what makes it. Can you identify it at all yourself?
Well, I think it's just the chunky and wonkiness of it makes it is how you can kind of identify it, I suppose. But yeah, like I would just do. Well, I try and keep it as simple as possible. I don't want it to be any more complicated than it needs to be, because if you can kind of simplify it as much as possible, then you can get the message across in a simpler way.
But it's a deceptive thing to be that simple. It takes hard work, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, just the editing and re-editing. I would do it over and over again to figure out the simplest way of doing it. So I'll do it like that.
And the other thing that you mentioned, chunky and wonky, but the other Chris Haughton-y thing about your books is the colour schemes. And the way, if we look at these three books, the colour scheme that sort of seems to go right through from the cover all the way through the book, end papers and everything. Mm-hmm. And that's a very conscious thing that you've decided. Were you thinking about a series of books, each one with a predominant colour?
Well, when I started, I wasn't at all. I did. This was the first one, a bit lost, and each one has text in it, text plate, and so I wanted all my text to be colourful. I thought it'd be more colourful if it was colourful rather than black. The usual would be to have this text in black, but we couldn't manage to do that. They said no, you have to do it. All the text has to be one colour, or it has to be black, because of the way it's printed. When you change the language, it needs to be all the same colour. So we decided it doesn't actually need to be black. It could be a colour.
Yeah.
So this one is green. So all of the text is either green, white on green, or green on white. So in fact, this is the text plate, the old sky. So in every page, it's all green, and this one. So we did that first off, and then the next book we thought, we might as well do this a similar thing. So have it with a text plate blue and different. So each one now is a different colour. So and that's kind of made it like almost like a series.
It is. It works brilliantly well.
Another just me stumbling into something and making and I'm a bit of a mess of it, and then go, oh, okay, well, we could make this into a series. So that was how it wasn't a conscious thing that I was going to make a series.
Yeah.
You know, each one a different color. It's just how it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do the fourth guy looking backwards.
Just while you're drawing, Chris, can
Yeah.
you tell me a little bit about people who've influenced your own graphic style?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to somebody about this today. I was really interested in doing caricature as a kind of just before I was in art college and a bit while I was in art college, and so I loved Ralph Steadman and Joe Scarf and all these guys in the 90s that were doing really great caricatures. I studied graphic design then, and I really loved lots of kind of graphic designers, Paul Rand and different people like that. And they were two very different kind of styles that I had, ways of working, one in caricature and one in kind of colour. And then I kind of merged those two together, really, like using the sort of skills that I'd got from doing caricature and sort of expressions and really exaggerating facial features and that sort of thing. But then making it with a kind of a graphic, in a graphic sort of computer generated style.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a fusion of those two things really that I don't know, helped me develop the way I work now. As I was starting out doing illustration, there was a guy, Adrian Johnson, he was doing really interesting artwork, all on computer. Before that, all the computer stuff that you would see was very just clean and clinical, but he was taking a kind of handmade approach to his work with like digital work, and that was very inspiring, I thought. And actually, Beatrice, I really admire her work, and
yes, her work's gorgeous. Yeah.
First time I went to Bologna, she just won the Bologna Award, and I'd never really seen books that were sort of oversized and beautiful like that. And then I decided, well, that would be. I'd love to make something kind of like an art book, but also for children. There we go. We'll do. There's my rubber.
That's absolutely brilliant. Wonderful piece of work, and thank you very much, Chris Haughton.
Thank you very much, PJ.